I have yet another fairly recent addition to the Rough Rider line of knives. This is the Rough Rider long rifle Daddy Barlow, and this is a part of the long rifle series, as you might guess from it being called the Rough Rider long rifle Daddy Barlow. And pretty much what that means is it's got this shield here that looks like a Pennsylvania long rifle. That's right. It's a Pennsylvania long rifle. The rifle was made in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where I'm from. It's a Pennsylvania long rifle. Those bastards from Kentucky stole it from us. I think what it actually was is your rifle had fixed sights, and you had to use what they called Kentucky windage to aim your rifle, which was like you knew where your rifle shot, so you just compensated for that. And from what I understand, it was called Kentucky windage because Kentucky is windy. Something along those lines. Pennsylvania long rifle that was made in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The workshop is still there near Willow Street, Pennsylvania. If you're ever in the area, it's still there. Check it out. But anyway, um, yeah, long rifle series. It's got a little long rifle shield here, and then it's got this not kind of out of place weird font long rifle etch here on the blade. Which I mean, I'm not the kind of person that hates blade etches or anything. I think some of them can be really cool. In fact, I don't like this one. I think it looks kind of out of place. It's got like this almost like old English look to it, which, yeah, the long rifle was like the 1760s, 1770s, something like that. 1780s, it was around. I don't know. This seems too old for the long rifle, but I don't know. Weird font, very weird font, in my personal opinion, to use for this. But I'm better off with some like cursive font type thing there, I think. Um, but I don't know. Um, and there's no S to replace with an F, but you could have done that as well, I guess. But yeah, Daddy Barlow pattern I really enjoy. I think most of you know that. I like these bigger knives, Coke bottles, Daddy Barlows, English Jacks, stuff like that. I really like these large pocket knives. Um, the Daddy Barlow just happens to be one of my favorite ones. Talking about how large it is here. This is pretty much exactly 5 inches closed, which is a pretty standard size for these. Daddy Barlows and such. The blade is just about 4 inches long with a cutting edge of about 3.5, a little over 3.5. But yeah, so it is a big knife. This one does have a half stop. Pretty good action on this one, I'll say. Pretty good action. Clip point blade. Most Daddy Barlows have a clip point blade, although I've seen them with a spear point blade. Those ones are kind of cool. Yeah, blade overall looks okay. Just pretty inexpensive stainless steel. I think it's 440A. You've got your nail nick, match strike nail nick, which Rough Rider puts on all of their knives, and I really wish they would stop it because I've begun to associate the nail nick pull with cheap knives now. So even when there's like an expensive knife with a nail nick pull, I think like, oh, that's a cheap knife. Like in the back of my head, even though I know it's not. I just wish they would stop. Not every knife needs to have a nail nick that can strike a match, that can actually strike a match. That's just what they're called. These might actually be able to strike a match. I don't know for sure. But I know I've tried it with some different like match strike nail pulls, and it didn't work. So um, yeah, just something that they do that I think they're trying to make them look fancy that doesn't really work to make them look fancy. Uh, this has red smooth bone handles on it, which look pretty good, I'll say. Knife overall is put together fairly decently. Um, I will say on these Daddy Barlows, Rough Rider seems to have some real problems with blade centering. This one's not nearly as bad as my other like three of these that I've had, where the blade's completely resting against the liner. And in the one case, it's resting so hard against the liner that like it hits like the edge on the liner. This one's not hitting the liner, I don't think, but it is a little off to one side. I'm not sure why they're having so many issues with that with Daddy Barlow. I don't know if it's just the challenges that the pattern presents itself, or if their blade stamp for these is like old or something, and the blades come out all wonky, or what exactly the problem is. But I've had three of these before this that were way worse. This one's actually pretty good, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. And it was basically a deal of they released a Daddy Barlow, so I went ahead and ordered a Daddy Barlow. Now I wish that Rough Rider would do the Daddy Barlow and like the teardrop pattern that they do, and maybe one of their sunfishes or something, preferably a bigger one, in their carbon steel series. I don't know why they don't do that. I wish they would, because I would love to have a Rough Rider carbon steel Daddy Barlow. I would probably actually carry it if they made something like that. Same with the teardrop and the sunfish and everything. That would be really neat if they did that. Smoking Mountain Knife Works, if you're listening, figure that out. But anyway, I mean, overall, fairly decent little knife here. Well, not little, but fairly decent knife here. My only real thing to point out is the blade centering there, which, again, this one's fine, but I've had, some other ones where it was a problem. So I don't know if it's just something with the Daddy Barlow or what, but just something I figured I would mention. Doesn't affect this particular knife, but has affected like three other Daddy Barlows that I got from Rough Rider. But anyway, um, I think it's fairly decent knife. I think this comes in around $20, like most Rough Rider knives. Um, and I think it's a good knife to get people started in the pocket knife world. And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, my first Daddy Barlow was a Rough Rider Daddy Barlow, and that's what convinced me that I needed to find a better Daddy Barlow, like a case or something. So that's kind of the reason why, like, I bought my Remington Daddy Barlows that I have, and stuff like that. So that actually, a Rough Rider Daddy Barlow, actually helped kind of start me on my knife collecting journey a little bit. The blue case sodbuster that I bought in like 2016, I think it was. That's what really started the love for like traditional pocket knives. Um, but like the Rough Rider Daddy Barlow really helped me get more into Daddy Barlows and stuff like that. Um, and really seek out like more quality pocket knives and everything. Um, but yeah, at some point I'll do like a little story on how I got into pocket knives, maybe if I get around to it. I'd like to at some point. Uh, I know where my blue sodbuster is, and that's a big part of it. So at some point I'll probably do that. I don't know when that'll be, but yeah. But anyway, this is the Rough Rider Long Rifle Daddy Barlow from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and it's a fairly decent little knife, at least this example. Um, Weird choice on the blade etch. They should have went with a different font, or I would have preferred no blade etch, but on this particular knife anyway. Or if you wanted to put like something having to do with the long rifle, like the fact that it was the Pennsylvania long rifle and not the Kentucky long rifle. I would have appreciated that. But Smoky Mountain Knife Works is in Tennessee, so I don't think they would have gotten that right. You know, this is Revolutionary War stuff. It has nothing to do with the Civil War. Don't bring it up. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.